So maybe we'll start off with a song. Come on, you guys, unmute yourself. We'll get this over with, and we'll see how we perform. Get it all done.
Okay.
Okay, and you know who we're singing it for, right?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. I'll lead. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you.
Oh,
Happy
this was great. Happy
birthday,
birthday, dear Barbara Quayle.
Barbara.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to
Okay,
you.
And many more.
yay. Yeah, thank you for that. And this will go down in history as the one
We
show
sh-
that everybody left in the first 30 seconds because of several vocal performance.
Issues, yes.
Yeah.
And we
So,
weren't we weren't in studio mode either, so
yeah,
the
obviously that kind
synchronization
of
was
screwed things
terrible.
up. Anyway, that's cool. Okay.
And that's what today's show is all about.
Yeah. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
try again.
No. Try again.
The question I have for you today is, are you going in circles? Well, maybe you should be, because we're talking about Google Plus circles. And as important as it is to not circle some people, we feel that you should be circling intentionally and making it work for you. So Google Plus enables people to build circles and do that. But when you circle somebody, what happens next? What's going on? How do you design who you're going to place in your circles? How do you keep meaningful circle structure so that it benefits you in your communications, your posting, and invitations? How do you do that? What can other people do in regards to when they're circling you and you circle them? What is it that you can do with that contact, and how much control do you have over the circling contact? Well, we're going to discuss these things and more and answer some key questions and pretty much fill an hour with a discussion of circles. We're going to give you some insights as to how to use the circles for your social media and business outreach in order to build effective relationships and structure your communities. So, good morning, Saturday morning marketing smarties, and I keep that title affectionately because when I started this, we were just a small cluster of Southern California guys talking about the internet. And the thing is, if you really open it up to the opportunity that's online today, you quickly realize that depending upon your subject, you could go global. So consequently, we've got people in Germany, we've got people in Belize. When Bill gets here, that'll be the truth. We've got all over Europe, France, Britain, and even in Asia, Malaysia, and even in Japan. We've got people from all over the place. So I appreciate it from wherever you're coming. I appreciate you spending some time with us today. We're going to cover a very important subject. Now, all of the things that we talk about in this particular program are geared towards helping people with small businesses or small group interests like hobbies and so forth, but mainly small businesses that want to get their foothold and start some sort of an online outreach that will benefit their business. So that's what we're covering today. We structure this so that it focuses around three things, at least from my perspective, and very, very similarly to the others that join me here. You have a website, you have social media, and you have YouTube that you have to hit really hard. And that's the three legs on the tripod that I preach for my subject. Who am I? My name is Roland from R&D Hotline. And if you have a question on the internet, on internet subjects, call Hotline. Just call me and ask. And we'll answer the best we can. If we don't have an answer, we'll find the answer. But mainly what we deliver on this program is some bottom line basics that you can get started with right now. So that's the basic subject. Now, today we do have a special guest that we'll be introducing to you shortly. And before I do that, I want to introduce my fellow team members. And then I'll have a little something to say before I turn these guys loose on you. So let's start with, let's see, oh, I don't know, who am I going to start with? Let's start with Terry. Terry is a very funny guy, but what you don't realize is he is well-versed and very, very talented in many different disciplines, and I'll let you tell Terry a little bit about what you do. Please, this is Terry Lee Britton, and he is from North Carolina, a little town called Elizabeth City. Wow, I did that without notes. Go ahead, Terry.
Not bad, not bad. Yep. I am a techie. I'm a computer programmer. I develop websites as a developer, not a designer. I manifest the design that designers come up with and do all the code stuff. But I'm also I've been doing YouTube videos for several years. I've got a couple videos with big numbers in terms of views. I've learned slowly but surely, having done it for several years, you start learning about voice and tags and all the techniques, and about the web too. Since I am a web developer, I'm always asked by my clients all of these things about SEO and all that kind of stuff. So all of these different interests, plus my music interest, has been resulted in an ongoing kind of journey of learning over the years that I keep acquiring new information and knowledge. And I've also been an AdWords consultant for Google and a partner, YouTube partner, and a Google partner. And so, wow, I mean, I love imparting what I've learned and getting it across to people. And and what better avenue than to use Hangouts on Air and the other Google tools. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, and then we're really happy that you join us and share with us and let this be one of the conduits for your outreach there. I'm glad to have you. And he will also have your own program on Sunday late afternoons on my time. But what time is it here? Early evening, is that for you?
Yes, although the music interlude begins at 5 Eastern Standard Time, it's the actual show begins at 6 and runs to 8:30. And it's called the Blue Juice Jubilee, the Blue Juice Jubilee Variety Show.
Let's rewind that a little bit.
Okay. Yes, the Blue Juice Jubilee Variety Show, and it's because I drink this blue juice on the game shows that it's become a signature for me. I drink all of this blue
yeah, well,
juice.
maybe you better lay off the juice a little bit.
Yeah, lay off the juice.
Okay.
But because it's cool, so it's a true variety show, and so I play some music. I play a lot of music, actually, keyboards and flute. I bring in guests, at least I've gotten started doing that. Interviewed Michael Daniels last week. And I have I read some poetry, I read some stories, I do Pixlr demos and informational pieces. So it's a real variety show. I go all over the map every single week and cover 2.5 hours worth of program. And it's really fun. I've got a bunch of people watching regularly, and the audience is growing. And I did a 10-week study to get good at doing a variety show. I figured doing a variety show would force me to get good at a bunch of different areas and have practice by doing it weekly for an extended period of time. It's a 2.5-hour show. So I had to get my audio right, my lighting right, my video right. But I didn't try to get it all done in the first show. That first show is laughable because it's so full of tech errors. It's real live TV, believe me. And
reality TV.
It's reality TV. But the whole idea was to be reality TV of Terry assembling a variety show. So that's what we do on Sunday.
Well, I enjoy joining you for that when I can, so hopefully other people will too. So now we're going to move on to Molly Youngblood Geiger, and she's what I call the Google lady. She has her own Hangout, her own community that is called Molly. No, it's not. Oh, it's headlined by the letters Molly, MOLLY, but it's called Marketing Online Leveraging YouTube. She's from Jacksonville, Florida. Molly, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Hey, Roland, thank you so much for that introduction. My name is Molly Imble Geiger, Design Right for You out of Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm very active on Google and Google Plus, specifically in the Google Partners community. I'm a Google Partners community ambassador. In the Google Small Business community, I'm a Google Small Business community advisor, and I'm also a Google Rising Star. A lot of people not sure what that means. What that means is Google will reach out to individuals that they see are experts in their respective fields, and they will give them this title as Google Rising Star. Currently, in the entire world, there are only 220 Rising Stars. And what that means is eventually I will become a top contributor, which currently there are 550 top contributors in the entire world. So thank you for having me on the show.
Well, thank you for being here. It's actually maybe an unfair trade to have you and who benefits where, but we're glad that you shared the time with us. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to move onward. Before I move onward and introduce Tim, Karen V. Chin is usually with us, and she's bowed out today because she's just finished a 14-day, 2-week challenge on it's called the 14 Days of Music Challenge. And she just completed it a day or so ago, 2 days ago, and she's recovering, so we give her some time off today. But she will be back as soon as possible. We're hoping, and we'll welcome her back shortly. So at this point, I will do a brief introduction for Tim, because Tim is an artist right now, but he's been many things previously to just focusing on his art. But what he does now is he is an artist whose passion is turning your dreams, ideas, memories, and photos into works of art. Tim, would you introduce yourself and tell us something about you?
Hi, Roland, and thanks for having me on today. I'm glad to help out wherever I can. As you mentioned, I'm an artist. I use oil paints. Those are my preferred medium, even though I can use the other styles. And by doing these with the idea behind my art and some of the philosophy of that turning the dreams, ideas, memories, and photos into works of fine art, is that way you get a personalized piece of art that speaks to you every time you look at it, because it's based on you, not what someone says you should like in the way of art. And formerly, I was a computer networking engineer for several cities and libraries in the northeast part of the United States. And I also did rehab technology, where I actually helped those with physical limitations to use computer technology to be able to return back to the workforce. And
I
all
love
that
it,
was because I liked helping people.
And that is one of the reasons why you and I locked up, because I really appreciated where it was you were coming from now, especially where we recognize that you are a man of many talents, very, very similarly to Terry there. And since you got involved with circles, and I found out how involved with circles you were when you helped me cure the Comment Gremlins problem about a month or two ago. And we had a lot of fun with that. So just briefly, because I have a couple points that I would like to make, but tell us how you got into managing your circles in Google+.
Well, early on when I first became active in Google+, a little over a year ago, Martin Shervington produced a video of how he manages circles, and I took that premise and expanded it to my understanding and knowledge of directories in a computer storage space, and kind of combined the two to create convenience, instant recognition in a given area if I'm looking for something on a particular topic, or just a particular person, that the relationship's developed into more than just a casual meeting here on Google+.
Okay, very good. And so learning what we did through our experience on the Comment Gremlins, led me to believe that you were well versed on that. And we started talking, and I knew after 5 minutes that I wanted to extend that conversation. As a result, you are here in the program to present what seems to be your own particular modus operandi for working your circles. So I think that you're going to give us some insights that maybe haven't been published before. So I'm looking forward to this. We're going to back up a little bit and talk about this because someone in the comment stream, even before the start today, was saying, oh, Cindy Luke was explaining to somebody what we do on the show, and she recommended and shared the program, which I really appreciate when people share the program. And I miss it a lot of times, and I'm not aware that people are sharing, but I'm telling you, I do appreciate when you share. Thank you very much. So she shared it with a person, Lisa Vallejo Garza. And I believe that Lisa is here today. And to explain briefly, this program, this weekly program every single week, is about methodologies and strategies to effectively build your internet marketing machine, which we characterize by saying a website, social media, and YouTube marketing. And of course, Google Plus is our platform of choice because of things like these circles, which are going to show you the tools that you can use to make Google Plus more effective than any of them. Now, Google Plus already has many facilities connected with it and integrated that make it powerful as it is. But after we get through talking about circles today, you're going to have a much better idea why it's such a tool for organizing your outreach, for advertising and promoting your Google Hangouts and stuff like that, contacting people and having a 100% contact opportunity when you're posting to circles as opposed to maybe any other medium available. So that's basically what we're doing today. The connectors with Google Plus had to do with things like Google Docs, chat, video calls, Hangouts, HOAs, events and invitations, the Google Calendar, Gmail integration, and what you do on your own for friends lists, clubs, interest groups, communities, and so on. So, I mean, that's the extent of what we can do, and we're discovering more and more all the time. So that's what you're going to do today. You're going to discover more of that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tim now and let him take you for a walk through what he does with circles. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay. Let me set up a screen share here so that people can see what I'm doing. Let's see, there's the right one. All right. I'll open that up, move this over here out of the way. Now, Martin Shervington has, his idea is that these first three circles are considered flow circles, and that was the, and they moved from one circle to the next into his particular way of engagement and further stronger connections with those that he circled himself on Google+. I take a little different approach, but it's still the same flow process. For instance, we all heard of VIP, very important persons. I have a VIT, very important topics. And the people in this circle are ones that generally produce topics that I'm interested in and want to keep on top of. From there, then I go, in fact, I've got one circle out of place here. Let me see where that went. But I'll show you what it was. Engagers. Anyway, I can give, there it is right here. This one goes there. And that goes like that. Now, basically, my flow goes from the many circles and categories I have people in to engagers. And then from engagers, they become acquaintances, which means they're not just a casual passing ship. Now they're someone that I begin to know a little bit. They're an acquaintance. Associates can fall into two categories, but they're more than acquaintances, but they're not quite friends. They may be others that share a particular job that we cooperate on, HOAs that we, or maybe we've developed the relationship enough that we use video calls through the Hangouts, video calls between one another or a group of us together to develop that friendship a little more. Then there's the friend circle. Those are the ones that I consider friends. Even if we haven't met yet in person, we've developed a tight enough relationship that this is somebody I want to keep on top of on a regular basis because we interact and share the same topics and have different ideas. We bounce off of one another and everything. And then the other circles are in categories, those directories like in a hard drive I mentioned earlier. There's art, marketing, fellow artists, networking, strictly art, people I'd like to get to know myself, those that specialize in marketing or motivation, specialize in blogging, social media, etc. And all these circles then allow me to direct in, okay, I've got something on marketing that I would like to get more focus on. And these people in this circle are involved in one form of marketing for the internet in one way or another at different levels. And so I can go in here and direct my attention to one or several at a time to address whatever I'm trying to focus on. An example, using marketing as an example. Then the other thing that most people do is when they get all these circles, or they get one large circle, they have a problem of the little notice up here in this top circle. Drives them crazy because it's constantly on infinity and they can't understand why. There's a link that is available, and I'll post it in the comment stream, that Google has made available for your circles. And if you'll notice here, these are the circles that I have the notifications on, and then I have those to where I don't receive notifications for them, even though they're important to me. And with this link, you simply go in those circles you're interested in, you can come in, you can turn on and turn off those notifications to decide whether or not that group of people pop up in your notification screen. Now, that doesn't mean you're losing those that you don't get notifications on, because that's where your stream comes in. Most people don't realize there are several functions at the top of your main home stream. And one of them that's very useful is mentions. Every time someone mentioned you in a post, it shows up here. Now, those people that regularly engage with you, they're right here in one single area. You can go in, you can comment back, and reply, and extend that relationship further to enjoy it. And then if you'll notice, in these circles under more, there's all the circles. So you don't, just because they're not in your notification doesn't mean that you miss them. So if I want to get those information, those topics and posts from just those in my marketing circle, there they are. The only thing showing up in this stream are those from the marketing circle. The same with acquaintances.
You know, Tim, you're bringing up some interesting stuff, and I would like to, for the people who got exposed to that for the first time and just got a really, really quick tour, I would like to even somewhat start over and show the people in a very simple navigation format how you went to inspect your circles and how you went to the various things that you just showed us, and review that. You know, the drop-down lists and the opportunities in the menu are critical, but please identify the couple, three critical ones and show people exactly what they will see when they go there, please.
Okay. As far as the notifications, where you can set your notifications tab, it's actually a bookmark. You can see it's right here on the bookmark bar, to where I just click on that and go. I've made it specifically a targeted link outside the folders on my bar in Chrome. And like I said, I'll post that link in the stream for people to be able to find in the events stream. As far as circles, we'll go straight to the Google homepage. And when you sign in, automatically you see up here in the top corner, generally a plus with your first name or the first part of your username. And you just pop it like that. It opens up that wide stream. And here is all those different circles that I mentioned, including the drop down and the mentions section. They're all right here. You just have to hit more to get the other circles that may or may not be in your notification circles. To get to your circles to make the edits, you'd come over here to this home, just below the colored Google Plus. You're on the home already. You go to People. And once it loads, it automatically puts you to find people, suggestions of people you may or may not know. Then you have added you Gmail contacts. If you have a page, it's there. Then you have the section that afterwards, now these are people that have me in circles. And that doesn't mean that I have them in circles, but this is every individual that's added me to one of their circles. And that would be what you're looking at when you see this, is people that have added you personally to your circles. And then you click on your circles to get here, which is where and then you just click on this. You add a circle name. Now let's call this one Demo. And you tell it, and you can create an empty circle. Now you have one of two ways when you do this. You can add a person by typing in their name, or you can go to another circle that you have. See if it'll go. Okay, it's going to make me add one. I'll just see, and you get a drop-down list, and there you go. And now they're added. The other way you can do it is you can go into another circle, except it's not loading now. I don't know why. It's working fine earlier. Yeah, my circles have quit working. But what you can do is you can then take people out of your other circles and drop them into this demo circle. For instance, I can take this whole circle and I can take anyone here and pull them down and drop them into the demo circle, and now they're part of that new circle if you already have someone circled. And that's how you make the circles and how you find your circles and everything. Anything else that you wanted me to recover?
No, this sounds pretty good, and I'm sending Ollie a little something there that she asked me for. So these are really, really good tools, and the tour, I think, is very handy because so often when we talk about stuff, we say, you can do this, well, you can do that, and there's this facility, and then nobody can find it later. And so for us to review exactly what those connections are, that's very important, and thank you very much. And then people can rewatch and get an additional tour, and so they could get a reminder of where these things are. So that's very handy. So now I would like to direct the conversation towards the use of circles and talk about a general conversation with all of my panel members, strategies regarding Google Plus circles. And the first one that I would like to imply that is so handy is that every week when I create this event for Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties, then I post it to public, and then I go back into my invitations, invite more, and specifically invite a couple of key circles that I know are going to be interested in the marketing subjects. So that's what I use. That's mostly what I use circles for. I am segmenting the people I connect with and putting them in circles, and I know that specifically the ones that I'm bringing on connected with me through other marketing people, or they are small business owners that are interested in the subject, and I place them in one of these circles so that when my event is posted on Saturday, I use them specifically to identify who I should invite to the Hangout. So I invite about 360 some odd people, and probably, well, for today I got maybe 12%, 12 to 13, 14%, and growing. They're still, they're going to come with watch the replay and stuff. That's a pretty good focus. But the reason that it works is that I segmented the circles properly so that the people are in the right circles in the first place. And if you have a pretty accurate determination of who you place there and why, now you've targeted the segment of people and you should get a better result. In other words, the messages that I send to those circles are more succinctly planted because of what their interests are. So, I mean, that's the way I use circles. Would anyone else have a good example of how you use circles? Anybody?
I'll just quickly jump in here. I actually use circles to help manage my community. So what I've done is when I created my Google Plus community, I went in and I actually created a circle that included all those community members, and it's been a really handy tool because if I had say I have an announcement or I have a special hangout I'm going to have, I can actually go and message everybody in that circle, which saves a lot of time instead of having to go into the community and ping everybody individually. So for me, that's been a pretty effective tool.
Yeah, and that's exactly the one of the best examples that I can think of in using circles. And I want to make the comparison that so many people bring up Facebook to me. And if you've spoken to me on any number of occasions about Facebook, you'll know that I am not a fan. I am not a fan of Facebook in general. And that's a discussion for another day. When you compare the differences between Google Plus and Facebook, it's pretty much day and night. It's just not the same element, and not the, you can't expect to achieve the same outcome on Facebook that's available in Google Plus. And they'll tell you that, well, people that aren't using Google Plus, it's a ghost town. And I'll tell you what, for the number of people that don't use it, there is the small group of people who do use it. And no, we're not using it for 7 minutes a month the way the average statistic that it indicates. We're on for 7 to 20 hours a week. I mean, I live on Google Plus, and all of my connections know that they connect with me on Google Plus. It works very well that way. So, did you have a comment? I'm sorry. I thought Molly, you had a comment that was selected. But anyway.
Yeah. I just quickly wanted to mention there's another tool that I use to help manage my circles, and it's called CircleScope. Sure, most of the people in the audience have heard of CircleScope, but when I first started using it, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I signed up just for the free version. But what I found is it really does have some very helpful insights in not only to manage your circles, but even in regards to posts, say on an event, how many people are commenting, liking, that type of thing. So if you get a chance, I would recommend checking out CircleScope. It's been a pretty awesome tool.
And from what I have heard, it can be used for many platforms. But if you just use it for Google Plus, it's free apparently. Is that accurate, or is that Nodex?
Right. I believe that's Nodex. I know with CircleScope they do have a free version and a paid version. Now with the paid version, you get more insights and statistical data versus the free version. But for me, the free version served its purpose in the sense of, I'm still able to go in and see what's going on with my posts and activity. So I think it really just depends on the user. If they want the full version, I mean, certainly, get it. But for me, the free version served its purpose.
Yes, and just to let everybody know, no, we're not going to get into a conversation about Circuloscope or Nodex today. And I know it's a subject that everyone wants, not everybody, but some people want to get into. And it's probably a good idea for certain people. If you've got especially a lot of followers built up and you want to control a lot of people and direct the course and really refine your outreach, then using something like Circuloscope or Nodex is just a great idea. So quick message here. Melanie Hall says, my circles are also topic-based. In addition, I have circles that relate to how I know them. You can name your circles anything you want, since only you see the name of your circles. So, some really good information. Thank you, Melanie. And by the way, anyone can comment. So if you got questions regarding what's being discussed right now, I definitely expect you people to speak up, and we'll see what's going on from the audience. Tim has one. From Denver Prophet Jr., Molly Youngblood Geiger, do you share topical posts with public and extended circles, topical circle, or just public plus topical circle? Do you understand the question, Molly?
Yeah. I mean, I understand the question. For myself, the posts that I share tend to be involved in different subject matters that I happen to find interesting. They usually tend to be tech-related subjects, but I pretty much share it across the board. I don't really try, unless it's a specific group of people that I'm trying to reach, I pretty much post it to all of my circles.
Cool. Now, I wanted to mention something. Oh, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, well, I'm of that kind too. I actually just post to public and never post anywhere else any other way. And I only found out in the green room before the show from Tim that you could add shares after you shared public. You can click on a little add people button and add your circles there. So if you've forgotten to, or if you share to a community, you can't share public. So but you can share public and then add the community afterwards. Tim was explaining to me. So I didn't even pay any mind to that button being there in my posts before. Until he brought this up today. So kick me off this panel of experts, please.
Well, we just made your expertise a little bit more refined. Yeah, when I create an event, I only post to public initially. And then once I've got it refined, now I go back and invite more and invite the exact key people that I want to see my full message and my details. And when I have the complete event page up with the trailer image and the header image and so forth. But that way I can get the whole thing set up the way I want it, make sure it's right, and then invite my circles, and that's how I use them.
Well, what I was doing wrong before, I didn't even realize this, I was sharing to public, and then I wanted to get it to a community, so I would hit the share button instead of the add people button. And I'd wind up with two posts in my profile. One of the original public post and another of the one that I shared with the community. And
right.
So that was wrong to be hitting the share button to share my own stuff. The share button is there for other people. You hit the add people button, I take it. So am I right about that? Okay.
Absolutely. So when people hit the share button, it's to post it in their own profiles. And that's where we start expanding exposure beyond our own reach. So other than that, when you're creating your circles, what you are doing is creating, especially for events and things, an opportunity to pinpoint share with those people, and not just share it on your timeline. Let's see what Melanie Hall's mentioning there. Melanie says, whoops, I rarely share to my specific circles. I have this fear that people will think I'm spamming them. Well, I think that is an organizational thing to consider, but I don't, for instance, I don't share to my circles directly except for very specific things. That's what segmenting, like in your email list, is all about. You know, you have a weekly email that you might share, and you don't you don't send the emails daily unless people want the emails daily. But when you share the emails, it's always to a specific targeted list. So you do the same thing with circles, so that you're pretty sure when you send the message that people want to they do want to see what you have to say. This is from Glenn. Glenn says, I've had to reorder. Say again. I've had to reorder to community based. Oh, yeah, I can understand that. And how we organize our circles is really, really important. So that's part of what we're bringing up today, so that you guys can, who are listening,
You know,
will.
on that subject that was brought up by Melanie, it's I also feel like I'm assuming somebody in the circles, by just directing it to a specific circle, I'm assuming people in the other circles aren't interested in this topic that I'm posting about. Since I usually post informational things, I feel like public is the way to go for me, because I don't want to make assumptions about what people's interests are necessarily. So sure, it may seem on the surface that this is something that musicians would be interested in, but here I am making assumptions that the people in my artists and illustrators circle wouldn't be interested in that. And yet, you know, a lot of people are kind of multifaceted in the arts and want to know a lot of things. And so here they'd be left out of the loop by me not including them. So that's why I just gave up and just started posting public. But now I'm seeing that I could also include all circles.
Yeah, and I'm really I'm impressed that people are contributing a lot of comments, and so I'm trying to, with the help of Tim and Molly and Terry, keep up with what's going on in the flyby. And Richard Clarkson has this comment. Says to all of us, I'd like to know what you all think of someone adding you to their circle who you've never talked to and really don't have anything in common with you. And that is something that we all deal with. I see that Molly's got something to say, and so do I. So let me turn it over to Molly and see what you think.
Sure. So for myself, I get circled all the time. I mean, every day I get circled to people. So typically what I do is before I accept the request, I will actually go check out the profile of that person just to see, you know, do we have any common areas of interest? I usually will check out their posts, their about page to find out, maybe they're working for another digital marketing company. Maybe we have some common interests. And then that's pretty much how I decide if I'm going to, approve the request to become a part of the circle. So that's just, my method. But I've heard of other people, they just go out there and if somebody sends them a request, they accept it. They don't really do the research. Now for me, I tend to research on what people are, what they're about. So I think it's different for everybody. What are your thoughts on that, Roland?
Well, I think that strategically circling is an essential thing. Some people are thinking, oh, I want to build up as many contacts as possible. And I do not think that way because, first of all, the subject matter that I talk about is not generally accepted by everybody. Not even all marketers believe what I do. So we're not speaking the same language, so I'm not going to circle people automatically. But people who are in the similar field, have similar bases of their business and understanding, and speak a similar language, and I feel similarly with, as far as I'm in alignment with their philosophies, I'm definitely going to circle them. So, as I said in the very first statements here, it's as critical who you don't circle as who you do circle. And you can only influence and communicate effectively with a certain number of people. And even Jimbo Marshall was saying, that you can only really influence a couple hundred people max. So if you're going to specialize in a subject and focus your communications on that niche group of a couple hundred people, you better circle the right people, and you better focus on the right ones that are going to make a difference in your business, and you can make a difference in your communications to them. Make sure that you're actually being very, very critical on who you circle and who you don't. Go ahead, Molly.
Yeah, I just have a quick comment to add to that. I think a lot of times when, and I guess it depends on the person, but for myself, I'm a digital agency, meaning I'm always on the lookout for new clients. So, if I see there's a potential connection there between myself and a new client, I'll take it. But at the same time, I think it's very, very critical to circle thought leaders, meaning people out there on Google Plus, like Jimbo Marshall, who we had on the event. After that, I immediately circled him because he added a lot of value to our Hangout. So for those out there, in your different areas of expertise, your different fields, I think it's very important to go and find those thought leaders in your industry and circle them, because it's a learning opportunity for yourself, plus it actually opens up an opportunity to interact with that thought leader.
Absolutely. And, I've discovered that I don't circle as many people as maybe a lot of people do circle. And when I first learned Google Plus circles, they're saying, when I say they're recommending, various people are recommending, yeah, just go out and circle 50 people a day, just, go here, go there, and circle 50 people. And in almost complete indiscriminate value of who they are, just go circle 50 people, and that's a waste of time. When you start dealing with communities and groups and thought interest groups and this type of thing, you'll run into the key people who will make a difference and the ones that you should be communicating with, and those are the people you add to communities. Michael Thomas has a comment, and Michael Thomas says, and manage your posts and shares from your profile page, Roland. Let's see, Google structure. The Google structure. I really don't know what he's saying. Manage your posts and shares from your profile page. Does anyone know what he's getting at when he says that?
I think what he's trying to get at there is when you're on your profile page, in addition to managing your circles, is to manage your posts and your shares. Meaning, like, for example, Denver had actually mentioned earlier in the comment stream that technical posts, if you're trying to market toward a certain segment, they may not be interested in technical issues. And to an extent, that's true. But at the same time, I think it's when I come across technical issues that I think is going to help a business, then that's why I share them, because it's not always necessarily about technical, but it's about the latest and the greatest, what's going on in technology. So I know there was a couple of comments about, we have one from Rain. She's saying that I agree with Roland, quality is better than quantity. So I definitely agree with that. That's why I try and limit my posts to things that I find very interesting. But for myself, I think it's very important to circle those that you see out there, again, areas of interest that you may have.
I think one of the reflections we have with these comment streams that are going on, and what Michael was reflecting, is that we all have to be concerned with the content that we are putting out in the first place. And if we're not putting out quality content and making statements about stuff that make a difference and that are meaningful and have value, then we're not shareable in the first place. So, it all boils down to what it is we're saying, our voice, and what it is we're sharing, and what it is we're posting, and the words that we say. And start off with value and quality, and you're probably barking up the right tree then. What does this share? Melanie Hall says, can you explain and clarify what extended circles are? Yeah, someone, Tim, you want to cover that? What extended circles are?
The easiest way to explain it, I typed right in the event stream over there today, was It's basically the circles of those you have circled. You're going beyond your personal circles into other people's circles.
So
And
it's like a
generally that's recommended against, not
right.
sharing. Do not share to extended circles. Let the people you share with make the decision whether or not to share it with their circles. You can wind up muted and blocked real quick if you continue constantly use extended circles.
So it's basically like the second generation beyond who you contact, and it's a bad idea because essentially uh, the only way to describe that is that spam. Wiwick has a comment. Molly Youngblood Geiger, please hang on. Whoops, we lost that.
No, I think she's got it.
Okay, let's see.
I think Molly's got it.
Please explain the difference between invite people and event and share. Oh, to an event and share to circles. Yeah, go ahead, Molly. You want to cover that?
Sure. Hang on just a second. Let me get my camera turned back on. So for me, let's see here. Let me turn this off. Please explain the difference between invite to an event and shared circles. Okay, so when you invite somebody to an event, you have to create the event first, and you have the opportunity to click invite others. So there you're actually going to go in and type out different people that you want to join the event versus sharing to circles. And so what happens is when you go into your Google Plus profile, you have the ability to actually go in and create circles. So from there, if you have a community or a specific group of people, you can actually just well, not automatically, you have to go in and add those people. But the main difference is for a Hangout invitation, it means you're actually inviting somebody to a Hangout versus creating a circle and including that person in the circle. So that would be the main difference between the two. I hope
And
that
then the additional,
that.
yeah, and then the additional comment it would be like when I form my events, I structure it and I invite the public. Then I polish it out. I fill out my my theme topper, my event trailer, and so forth, and I make sure that all my details are correct. And then I double back and I invite certain circles, which is an invitation to everybody within the circle. You can invite everybody in the circle all at once, but there's a little process involved, and it's not very difficult. But anyway, when I invite the circles, now if I have my circles segmented properly, then all I have to do is invite a couple circles, and I know it's targeted perfectly for the element of my event. And that's how I do it. And of course, you can invite them one at a time, but if you segmented your circles right, you can do it right from your circles.
You know, while we're on this topic, Roland, let me share my screen. I want to show you my event share on my profile page so I can demonstrate what you just described. So
Go right ahead.
let me pull up just that window. So here you have my Blue Juice Jubilee show, and this looks different from a regular post in that it's got this invite more button. That's what you're talking about, correct?
Yes.
So you click on the invite more button, and now you can select from your circles. See, I have all these circles here, and I can select any of these circles and make these be what I'm adding for this show. Okay? So I can like just invite philosopher. I can add philosopher's circle and say select this circle.
Right.
Okay?
And that's exactly how I do it.
And can you add another circle? So
Not all at once. Yeah, you have to process.
So you do it one at a time.
Yeah, you have to process that circle and then add another circle.
And then add another. So then you come back and invite more again. How's the guest thing? I guess that's just irrelevant to this conversation. Okay, it's nothing to do with circles.
Yeah.
Now you'll notice a regular post, however, does not have an invite more button. It just has the share button.
Right.
And I know the thing I find inconvenient about doing that, because I can certainly hit the share button, and it creates a new post, basically. that shows up in my stream, my profile page. I can get rid of public because that's already done, and I can add names and go down and look for circles. So I can say all my circles, my extended circles, and I would like clarification again what the heck extended circles means, because it still puzzles me. Or I can pick any one of these circles at a time, right?
Yeah. Let's cover that so it's clear, because I agree with Tim that posting or sharing to extended circles is a bad idea, and here's the reason why. Like, say if you're in a circle that I directly share with, and I share to that circle, then you get the post. If I share to extended circles, I am sharing to your circles or your contacts, people I don't know necessarily. I may, but chances are that there is a majority that I do not, and that's basically spam. I mean, that's posting information to people I don't know and I don't know how valid the contact is. That's not a good idea.
Now, your circles is just people you've circled back. It's not public. It's semi-public. It's the people that have circled you and you've circled them back. Whereas public is anybody that's circled you. We'll see it.
Right.
Okay.
And furthermore, regarding circles, if someone basically it goes like this. It was something that was clearly defined in an article that Christine DeGraff wrote, and it was really, by golly, if you can find that article, look up Christine DeGraff and look up circles and see what pops up, because she's got a really, really great article about it. And what it is, if someone circles you, they can receive things that you share. If you circle someone else, then you can receive things that they share, and that's how it works. So, like Terry, if I circle you, that means that when you share something publicly, I can see that. And if you share to a circle that I'm in, then I can see that. But that doesn't mean that you can see me, the things that I post. But if you circle me, then you're accepting the feeds that I share with you. So that's how that works. And of course, if the best thing, and this is what I try to reinforce, is when someone shares me, I want to make sure that I want to share them back, or if I don't, then I know that it's not a complete link, it's not a complete circle. But if it's a good relationship and worth having, you are going to circle each other. So I don't circle back automatically. I make sure that the people I'm circling back or circling in the first place are people I want to have in circles and prefer to have me in their circles, and that would be the best way. Now, there's one last thing that I want to make sure that we cover, and we're running out of time as it is. My God. Let's see what Molly's collection here. Prophet Jr. Denver says, added you to my content marketing circle, Raindell. Keenly interested in video coaching for e-commerce. And that's exactly what we should be doing, because now he's going to follow Rain, and then Rain will see that this guy's following him, and if he's an interested contact, she's also going to probably circle him back, complete the relationship, and they can possibly get involved in a conversation and carry it on from there. Who knows? And that's the way relationship building works in the Google Plus atmosphere. Now, the point that I wanted to... Oh, go ahead, Molly.
I was just going to say, the reason I posted that is that because that's a real-world interaction. This is what happens when you watch live Hangouts, where you interact with somebody, and when you circle somebody. This is a real live case study, and that's why I wanted to post that quickly.
And that's cool. And let's take that a step further. We have a bunch of people, 30, 40 people in the audience, and you're seeing other people who are also interested in the subject that we're talking about today. And that's an opportunity to meet people. Now, not all of them are going to turn into vast business opportunities, but it's great to meet. I mean, sincerely, this is what like-minded people really means. When you join a community because it says, oh yeah, we want to get a bunch of like-minded people together. They're not like-minded. I don't care what they say. You're a bunch of random people. But when you come into a community or a forum or a hangout where we're talking about a specific subject, people are commenting, contributing, asking questions, now you're like-minded. You have similar interests, and you could conduct a conversation probably with any one of them and gain something or share something that benefits the other person. That's a spirit of like-mindedness, and that's what we should be doing. I didn't want to miss this. That the one other thing about sharing is that you can actually share an entire circle. In other words, I've got a Saturday morning marketing smarties circle. If I want to share that circle, I could share that on my timeline and show this is a group I have, and people can opt into circling me back and connecting via that circle. And then whenever I send an invitation to that circle, whenever I send a post, they will get the same notification because they opted in via that circle. So there's another lamination, and it's very, very targeted, and that's the kind of sharing and that's the kind of connecting that we want to have. So, yeah, I agree. There's been lots of comments. We're going to let Molly make one just before we have to wrap it up here. Go ahead, Molly.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there have been a lot of great comments and questions on the Hangout today. So if we didn't get it, we will try and get that to you, answers to you.
Yeah, and the benefit of the comment stream beyond the live reading of the comments is that I spend the rest of today going over the comments and communicating with a few people, and some of us from the panel do the same thing, especially if we get certain comments directly related to something that we were talking about. And I will literally try to answer or respond to every comment made. And you know, it takes me a couple hours, but I get around to most everybody. And I definitely want to thank you for joining us and commenting. And you know, the stream has really been good. So thank you very much for the interaction. And yeah, Molly's got a 3-year-old that's canceling her camera action, so no problem. So I hope that we gain some insights as far as organizing your circles and what can happen with circles and what makes it so distinctly different from every other social media platform available. The only place that you can do this is in Google+. And you can say, oh, well, we've got, you know, hashtags and blah, blah, blah in Twitter, but you can't organize an outreach as extensively, as impactfully as you can in Google+. So if we encourage a few people to engage in this further and really explore what circles can do and how they can benefit your business, then our job has been performed well today. So anyone else want to wrap something up important that we missed? Tim, you have any closing words? Your microphone, Tim. Oh, you want to just let it go, huh? I don't speak sign language too well, but
His mic's broken.
oh, okay.
I understand sign language.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, so listen, I just hope that this has benefited people. Let me know if it has or hasn't. Give us your feedback if possible, and I really appreciate the people who have joined us today. It was a stellar event from the standpoint of attendance, so I appreciate that very much. So we're going to be signing off, and we say goodbye to our Saturday morning marketing Smarties and people everywhere. Thank you very much for joining us. See you soon.